there's 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 people that have like these things that they call like life hacks. So this one is more like a life, like a cheat. Not a shit, a sheet. I guess that also sounds like a paper sheet. So what I'm saying is, it's more like hmm, a way in which you can approach life, and I feel like get way more out of it than what you would have gotten from it normally. And it is a bit of a different approach to the way in which we look at the world and the way in which we look at the people around us, or the people that we somehow in some shape or form interact with. And so oftentimes when people talk about social media and then the damages technology and media are doing and all these things, one of the things that often comes up is this idea that there's so many people on social media who, and we are included, most likely just by proxy of using social media, but it's that when you interact with people's lives on social media, they look, people post their highlights in a sense, right? People are not posting in many ways their failures, but their highlights instead. The amazing vacation that they had, the amazing run that they had, and got to like see some incredible like places, the people that they're meeting, the things that they're doing, all these things, and then somehow these things that other people are doing are putting an immense amount of pressure on the people that are watching the things that they're doing. But it seems to me that this is not the only way in which we can approach this. That this is not like the one and only response that we can have to this. That if we were to say look at a celebrity in Instagram and we see that that celebrity is having an amazing vacation, and in the vacation they got to skydive, they jumped out of a fucking plane, and they just had that amazing experience. If we look at it from the perspective of, oh, these, all those people are doing all those cool things that I'll never do, that's not a really useful way of looking at it. Like, there doesn't seem to be value, or at least there doesn't seem to be value to me personally in looking at it that way. Now, if you reverse the tables and you say, wow, that person just went and jumped out of a fucking plane, what a cool experience they just had, and now thanks to this social media I can sort of like experience it with them. It's not the same as if I was doing it, of course, but to some degree I get to experience it thanks to them. To some degree I get to be there, I get to feel that, I get to enjoy it thanks to them, from maybe the safety of not falling off a plane, from maybe the safety of looking at it from a phone or whatever it is that you're looking at it from. But also it almost like exponentially expands your own life. That if you can look at the lives of other people around you and be grateful that they're doing things that are different to the things that you're doing, that their life is full of experiences that are in many ways alien to you, that there are experiences that they're having that you could never even imagine that they're having, and you can kind of like appreciate that and connect with that feeling, then suddenly something really weird happens, in which, and this is kind of like where the cheat comes in, that now you're not only experiencing your life through you, you're also experiencing their lives. Then not only are you doing the things that you're doing, you're sort of doing the things that they're doing. And so now that, hey, you know what? I don't need to jump out of a plane because thanks to this, thanks to Joey jumping off, and now I don't feel like I need to jump. I can go do something else. I can go try something interesting, something that I never really thought about. And now by you doing it, someone can connect to that and be like, oh, wow, that's not even a thing that I imagined I could do. But thank you for doing it, because now, like, maybe I feel like I don't need to do it, or I feel like I need to do it and go further and see what else is there that I can experience through that. And so imagine that. Just if you were able to connect with one person in that way, if you have like a significant other and that significant other is doing things that seem incredibly interesting to you, but you don't want to do them, then, when they're working on those things that are incredibly interesting to you, and you at that same time, maybe they like snowboarding in the middle of avalanches or some shit like that, and you don't like avalanches, but you do think that it's pretty fucking cool that they have the guts to do something so dangerous, so unique, I guess, maybe like a better word for it. And so when they go out for vacation to go snowboard away from absolute death, you might be home doing something else, working on something else, working on some other project, some other thing that is catching your interest. So when that person comes back and tells you all the cool things that they did, suddenly your life is magnified. Your life is the life of two, because during that time you got to do work on your project, and you got to enjoy working on your project, but you also got to enjoy them working on their project. And so now your life is twofold, and you get to enjoy it from two different perspectives. And then, if you add someone else that you really admire and they're doing cool things, now it's threefold, and then four, and then five. And suddenly you are living a life that's worth however many times over than one. That suddenly you get so much more perspective on living and all these things that maybe you want to travel, and travel seems very difficult, if not impossible, for you at this immediate moment. But by looking at other people that are doing it, and looking at them with kind of like appreciation and almost like love and excitement, then that helps you almost like scratch that itch. That maybe, maybe what you needed was not to travel all over the world, but to change your environment. And so you get to experience the journeys of these other people that travel around, that you admire, that you look up to, and then in your own way you go on your own maybe little adventure throughout like your own town, and get to explore and expand your understanding and your thoughts about the world, and meet some new people that were always around you, but you never kind of like paid attention to them. There are all these ways in which we can expand our way of looking at life, and that the fact that there's people out there doing things that seem incredible for us, things that seem extremely interesting to us, should not be a deterrent of us doing things that we enjoy, that things that seem interesting to us, but in fact, maybe what it should be a motivator. That if you do cool stuff, but you also enjoy watching other people do cool stuff, then goddamn, you're now two people doing cool stuff. And so at some point, you just become unstoppable, because you're only experiencing amazing stuff that either you are doing or people that you are really connecting with are doing.